Just a robot. So we are now at the end of Steven Universe month.
Thank fuck.
And I've been issued a challenge by Easy Peasy.
I'm still waiting for someone to accuse me of ripping off Just a Robot, even though his video came out after mine. But well, it'll happen eventually. Anyway, since both ER and RoboBuddies ended up having to make a response video to all these stupid comments they got, I figured that at this point, if I'm number 3, then that makes it a tradition. So that's just how it's gonna work from now on. You make a video about Steven Universe, the fanbase leaves a bunch of deranged comments telling you to kill yourself, and then you make a video about it. That's just the law now, okay? And by the way, Just a Robot, if you're watching this, you're next. You have to do this, okay?
Now I did accept his challenge, but I kept on putting the video off because I didn't want to do it. But now that Steven Universe is over, I've run out of time to put this off any longer.
Know your fucking place, trash!
Now, before we get to the hate comments, I just want to say this. Yes, in my video, what I don't like about the Steven Universe fanbase, my mouth was moving. One guy who pointed this out got over 9,000 upvotes.
It's over 9,000!
Even Justin Y pointed this out. People still know who that is, right? It was supposed to be a one-time thing, and it was done by Soccer Turtles. Please go check them out. We tried to do it a second time for a different video, but unfortunately it was a bit off. It doesn't really add too much to the video. I know a lot of you like it, but some of you didn't like it. And it also takes a lot of time, so I'm gonna listen to the people who didn't like it. But anyways, let's get on with the hate comments.
I only have 2 words for you.
Got him!
Okay, so this is a major problem I have with comment comebacks. Whether other people are making them or I'm making them. It's really hard to tell who's trolling or not. But what baffles me most of all is this comment is edited. Why did he edit his comment? What did he say before? Did he misspell something? It's not a very long comment at all.
It's not sex. The pearl in garnet is totally symbolic for rape though. LOL.
Okay, so this is a bit of a controversial point. A lot of people think Pearl raped Garnet, and even Easy Peasy thinks that. But I really don't agree. I don't think tricking someone into having sex with you is rape. Don't get me wrong, it's a dick move, but I don't think it's rape. For example, take California, one of the most liberal states in the USA. According to California law, giving someone an STD is a misdemeanor. So if you're in the state of California and you have AIDS and you try to have sex with someone and you tell them you don't have AIDS and you give them AIDS, then it's considered a misdemeanor. And I don't think rape should be considered a misdemeanor.
You tricked me.
Why I don't like your channel?
This is why you don't like my channel? For this video? What about before this video? Did you like my channel? I need a little bit more context than this.
Just a robot. Stop hating on TV shows and channels. You're so annoying.
Are you dumb or what? He wasn't even talking about the show in this video. But hey, what did I expect from someone who likes Steven Universe? Also, it's his channel, dude. He can do whatever he wants.
So the way I found the majority of these hate comments was going in the likely spam section. A lot of people think I delete comments, and while I do delete spam every now and then, most of the quote-unquote deleted comments end up here. And I can't even go through all of them because I have literally thousands of them. I wish there was a way to just, turn it off, but it does have its uses, like finding hate comments. But this guy's comment isn't in the spam section, mostly because, well, someone is replying to it. The guy insulting me doesn't end up in the spam section, but the guy defending me does. And this happens all the time. Insulting a YouTuber on his own video, perfectly okay. But if you dare defend him, we're putting you in the spam section. I'm not trying to say, oh boo-hoo, someone left a mean comment. But really, the guy defending me ends up in the spam section? Really?
Your entire channel is an unpopular opinion.
But all my videos have more likes than dislikes. Almost everybody seems to agree with me on everything. If anything, I think my opinions are too popular. I wish I was more like Ellis Mark, who hates on people before everybody else is doing it.
How about you keep your fucking nose where it belongs? He fucked up, he apologized, he doesn't need other YouTubers making drama videos about it to boost their own egos.
Thank you for making this follow-up video. I was really concerned about staying subscribed to that channel, so I'm glad it got resolved. I'm pretty understanding when giving you information.
So these are both comments from the follow-up video I made about Ostrich Fox's apology. As you can see, they're completely different. Now, one of these people actually watched the video, and the other one didn't. I wonder which is which. Now, first of all, with the whole keep your nose where it belongs, well, I can do what I want, and the things I talked about were public information on the internet. If he fucked up, then I can talk about how he fucked up. And yes, he did apologize in private originally, but that wasn't public information. Now it's public information that he apologized, which I'm aware of because I talk about it in this video. It's literally in the title. But you really can't expect intelligence or kindness from a person who has amethyst as their profile picture, unironically. And with the other guy's comment, I got several like them. A lot of people were considering unsubscribing to Ostrich Fox, but thanks to me, a lot of them didn't. Granted, thanks to me, a lot of them did, but it could have been so much worse. You're welcome.
Lol, you're doing this for attention and clout. I just realized that you brought up all of these irrelevant subjects and things that'll make you get subscribers. I would also like to take this moment to promote my upcoming video about Chris Hansen. I know this is a shameless plug, but you do what you gotta do.
Well, when you really get down to it, technically every YouTuber does what they do for attention and clout. If you didn't want attention and clout, then you wouldn't upload things on the internet. Well, Ostrich Fox's apology was pretty recent. It was only a couple days old when I made my video on it. So I do think it was pretty relevant. And also I made it to correct some of my mistakes and make him lose a few less subs than he actually did. Again, you're welcome. I don't think people really understand what I could have done. Trust me, I have a lot of other things on Ostrich Fox. I could have said his apology was bullshit and done what I could to profit off him. But I didn't because, well, I didn't want to. I genuinely think he just made a mistake. We all have. I know one day I'm gonna make a pretty big mistake myself and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. It's not a question of if that will happen, it's when. A YouTuber being an idiot on Twitter or in a live stream is a bit more forgivable to me. Whenever I get pissed off, I do what I can to stay off Twitter. And it's a piece of advice I would give to any YouTuber.
Dude, did you really compare Rice Gum rape joke, did it feel good though, to the Ostrich situation?
Wow. Okay, so a lot of people were trying to defend Ostrich Fox saying things like, it happened a long time ago, so it doesn't matter. But the thing is, what Rice Gum did also happened years ago, and people still bring it up to this day. I'm not trying to say they're exactly the same in every way. One is laughing at a rape victim, the other one is attacking a kid with cancer because they leaked stuff that they wanted to leak themselves. One could argue that one is worse than the other and vice versa. It's up to you, the viewer, what you think is worse. But I wasn't trying to make a comparison if they were morally equivalent or not.
I don't think we should put him in the doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. You kinda did. You have some double standard.
Really? I have double standards. I put him in the doomed if you don't, doomed if you do category. I think I said that backwards, but whatever. I said, hey guys, he apologized. And the girl forgave him. He just made a stupid mistake. I think we can forgive him. That's doomed if you do, doomed if you don't? Really? Let's keep reading this comment to see what else it has to say.
Apparently you're also a drama seeker.
Can't argue with that. Even if I wasn't a drama channel, drama would somehow still find me. I'm an absolute drama magnet.
No one has to make a public video apology after tweeting an apology and apologizing to the person privately. Wait, if you already made an apology video, and then you make a tweet about apologizing, and then apologizing in a private tweet, that's a lot of apologies in one statement, just saying.
Well, first of all, I don't use Twitter that often, so I didn't know they tweeted it out. I still don't know if they did that or not. Yes, I have a Twitter, but I just use it for shitposting. And if someone apologized in private, How the hell am I supposed to know that?
And it shouldn't be brought up time and again after the person who he offended tried to tell people to stop.
First of all, I brought it up once, and the second time I accepted his apology and made fewer people unsubscribe to him. You're welcome. But as the old saying goes, the internet never forgets. So if you do something stupid on the internet, it's gonna keep getting brought up.
And you shouldn't make a video, post, etc. without even making sure you have all your facts straight. It's people like you and your fan base that make this world such drama.
Okay, I will admit I got a few things wrong here and there, but he still did it. And I made a video, post, etc. explaining the mistakes I made, and defended him a little. God, Vox's fans are more angry at someone defending Vox than someone making fun of him. The Enter bots have nothing on the Vox fanbase. It just baffles me that these people keep saying, "You got stuff wrong about what happened between Vox and the other person. You're the worst robot in existence." But they'll ignore, what Vox actually did. I really don't hate Vox. I still watch him from time to time. And I think he just made an honest mistake. Everybody's brain turns off when they use Twitter, but his fans are just so unbelievable. Like, imagine if I did a video on a guy who raped a kitten, and I said, that guy raped a puppy to death. And people were more mad that I said the creature died when it didn't, and I got the creature wrong, than the guy actually raping the kitten. I know it's an extreme example, and the two things are not morally equivalent, but it's still absolutely baffling to me.
A lot of people would try to defend themselves in this kind of situation. He could have made a video saying, guys, get over it already, it happened a year ago. Does the exact same thing he says he's proud of the roundtable of not doing. Cool.
Nice try, buddy, but that has nothing to do with the first two.
Yes, they have nothing to do with each other, but I'm pretty sure that you believe the hypothetical situation you bring up are childish things to do.
What? You said I did the thing I was proud of the roundtable for not doing. You were absolutely saying they had something to do with each other. I agree that they are childish things to do, but I have no idea what they have to do with hypocrisy. Sometimes I think I'm literally the only person on the internet who even knows what hypocrisy is.
So if you yourself don't want him to defend himself...
What? 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 How did you get that? When did I ever say or imply he shouldn't defend himself, or I didn't want him to defend himself? Yeah, I didn't want him to deflect or put the blame onto other people, but that's not me not wanting him to defend himself. I thought he defended himself decently, and I also defended him.
Are you exempt from apologizing for something child that you have done? Child that you have done?
Because I didn't do anything childish or wrong. Yeah, I got a few things wrong, and I am sorry for the girl for getting things wrong. And I made sure to correct my mistakes for saying that the person was dead. I just have a really hard time with cancer. I hate to drop the robot persona, but I check myself for cancer moles every single day. I'm at a high risk for that stuff, so if I got it, it's pretty much a death sentence for me. So every time I hear about someone having cancer, I think, oh god, they're not gonna make it. They're dead.
Because I'm pretty sure bringing up something horrible that someone has done but apologized for is pretty childish. My friend, grammar, punctuation, and spelling will go a long way, trust me.
Well, I didn't know he apologized in a tweet, and I didn't know he apologized in private, so it's not childish. And people keep bringing up what Rice Gum did even though he apologized for it. What is childish is saying, it's okay when my senpai does it.
Stop acting so smirk, Jar 2. In your background, you have creepy anime. Leave Fox alone.
So I tell people to leave him alone, and that's not leaving him alone. By your logic, you need to leave him alone.
Vox didn't know anything to you, or to anyone of Nigelian, which he apologized to right after it happened. So really, he shouldn't have had to make that video in the first place. But then someone like you, and there were a lot of yous out there making false claims about the event, so you had no choice but to have to bring it up again. I'm glad at the very least you apologized for straight out lying about the details of the event.
All I did was show what he said. Yes, I got a few things wrong about the girl, but not him. Also, I didn't lie, I just got a few things wrong. I never made him apologize. He's 10 times bigger than me. How could I even do that? Also, how was I supposed to know he apologized in private? I think you're just pissed that I exposed him.
But you did get things wrong with him.
No, I did not.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow, this video was very sloppy of you, Jar. First of all, yes, we get you got a hate boner for Amethyst. You bring it up so many times that it's annoying. Also, Amethyst apologized and hasn't done the terrible shape-shifting until the movie, and even then, it was a last resort.
Yeah, she apologized, but she still did it. She shapeshifted into the dead wife of Greg. And she scarred Stephen as well, and she was set off by practically nothing.
She has moved on from being awful and learned to be a better person. You need to let it go!
Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. I'm not really that angry at Amethyst because she's, well, a fictional character. I'm way more angry at the writers for thinking this was a good idea.
Secondly, your part on Pearl was very sloppy. First, you overestimate the power of sand and missed Pearl has.
How did I overestimate it? I just said she could do it. I mostly brought up the sand thing just so I can make a joke about Star Wars.
Pearl hardly ever uses those skills, and even when she did, the sand she used was for very small figures, and the mist needed a large number of clouds to work.
Okay, I didn't act like it was like a super impressive feat or anything, I just mentioned she could do it. She still did it, nonetheless. Again, I'm just mentioning she can do it. That's it.
Second, you forgot to mention that the spaceship didn't even leave orbit before it broke apart and exploded!
Okay, I got a lot of comments about this, and to be fair, I should have mentioned it. However, I was talking about how fast the ship can go, not how durable it was. Leaving the atmosphere is one of the hardest things for a spaceship to do, because space is a vacuum, and the atmosphere has a lot of stuff in it. Making a rocket launch from Mars is far easier than making it launch from Earth. Not just because Mars has lower gravity, but because the atmosphere of Mars is far less dense. And she built this in one day with scrap metal. If she had more time and the proper tools, she could build a far better ship. To everybody who kept on commenting about Pearl's ship exploding, I don't care. I was talking about its speed, not its durability.
Stephen and Pearl would have died if Stephen didn't make them bail.
Yes.
Yes, it would have been impressive if the ship was able to go into the next galaxy. But you can't say the ship did this feat if the ship explodes before it even leaves orbit.
Galaxy? I said it was going to go to the nearest star system, which I assume is Alpha Centauri. I don't know where you're getting galaxy from. I didn't say it made it. I said it could go that fast. I already had everything I needed to do the math. It doesn't matter if it made it or not.
Thirdly, the door. Pearl didn't even open the door! The door was so high-tech that she couldn't even open it. It was only through Holy Blue putting Stephen through the normal zoo procedure that he got in. Pearl couldn't do anything.
Somewhat of a decent point, but my editor, not me, put the wrong clip on screen. That was the one door Pearl couldn't open, but Pearl was opening doors before she got to that one.
She couldn't stop Peridot's machine once it was reactivated. Yes, it stopped for a little while, but then it got back up like her M-Blast was all for nothing.
It still wiped out the power in Beach City, which I said it did. Nothing more, nothing less.
Also, her mech lost against Peridot.
And we're back to the stupid. I said Pearl developed a mech suit to fight against Peridot, not that she beat Peridot.
She did punch the green gem, but she didn't win the battle. And she was losing the battle between her and Amethyst.
Wait a second, I thought you brought up this point earlier. Or was that earlier point about something else? I can't imagine what it was. This comment is so confusing.
It was only through Stephen and the falling machine that the battle finished. And even then, it was through Pearl apologizing to Amethyst that things settled down. If you're gonna praise a person, or in this case, Jim, Get your facts right and tell people these things.
Okay, this is somewhat of a good point. Granted, Amethyst did get the drop on her, but Pearl also said to Amethyst, "You can't beat me," and Amethyst said, "I don't care." They both got their hits in, but the hit Amethyst got in required her to use a lot of her power. I'll give you a point for this one.
Don't leave them out. Otherwise, you're misleading your audience.
That's rich coming from you. And if you think their comment is bad so far, it's all downhill from here.
Finally, your talk of sworn to the sword. Not sworn to be the sword. Get the title right. Also, your racist joke isn't funny. You're not good with dark comedy. It's very racist.
Most people seem to like it, and I really don't care if you find it funny or not. For the title thing, I misspeak a lot. I'm very bad with names, as my audience knows.
Yes, if you look at the scene out of context, it technically can be seen as racist. But you're not thinking that Pearl is white and was a slave! She is not out of the mentality of being a slave and thinks that being a knight is risking your life for your person.
Yes! That's the joke! She was more of a servant than a slave, but even then, I don't see what this has to do with anything.
Also, Pearl was not seeing Steven as white guy who was better than black people. She was seeing him as Rose, as royalty, as a diamond who was more important than anyone in the world. Yes, he's white, but that's just demeaning Steven's character.
What? Being white is demeaning?
Also, Steven stopped Pearl!
Oh yeah, Steven did stop the fight. Good for him. I don't care! Good God, what does this person want from me? This person really wants the video to be 5 hours long and for me to explain everything about every scene.
He didn't want Connie to see herself as a servant. That is the whole point of the episode. Another fact you got wrong. The gems couldn't keep their forms when the ship was going ludicrous speed.
Okay, now I'm actually fucking pissed. I didn't get that wrong because I didn't mention it. I was talking about the roaming eye going 33% the speed of light, not when it was going ludicrous speed. That was when it was going far faster than the speed of light. This person is on T-Moss boss levels of putting words in my mouth.
Which was when the ship was red.
The ship is always red. What are you talking about?
Their forms were lagging behind, and it was only Steven who stopped the speed, and even then, it's because he's human and a diamond.
But it doesn't end there, folks. This person was so triggered that they felt like they had to make a response to their own comment. So, here we go.
Wow, your video is so awful, I'm making a reply. Like one comment wasn't enough, you needed 2.
I didn't ask for this.
This time, I'm talking about your Amethyst section. First off, stop calling her a psychopath! Do you not know what bullshit you're saying? Yes, it's mostly a joke, but it wasn't funny the first time. It's not funny the second time, and you dug this joke so deep that not even a sponge could call this funny. Like, yeah, you don't like Amethyst, I get it. But don't say she's a psychopath, you idiot! She doesn't constantly like hurting people.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, it's a joke, and second, psychopaths don't constantly like hurting people. It's a bit more complicated than that, you idiot.
She didn't want to hurt Steven or Greg. She's mad that Rose is gone like everyone else.
It still doesn't make it okay.
And she has her own mixed feelings for being created on Earth. Like, it's disrespectful to this disorder.
Coming from the person who thinks psychopaths constantly like to hurt people.
Also, you left out a lot of Amethyst's strengths, like how durable she is, how long her transformations can last, and her actual intelligence. Like, sure, Amethyst isn't the strongest of the 3 main gems, but she does have her qualities.
Again, the video already took twice as long to make as all my other videos, and I said I might make a part 2. I do have other feats and statements. This person's argument can be summed up as, you didn't bring up X, therefore biased.
Also, You're not talking about the average speed of the roaming eye.
The one that was 33% the speed of light, not the one that was ludicrous speed. I have links in the description that go into more detail. Please check them out.
Like, which speed are you talking about? The slower speed? Which is what the rubies were most likely being hit by.
Yes! That one!
The faster speed, where they're warping between places, like from the zoo to Earth? Or the ludicrous speed that only Steven could survive in? Like, you never clarified.
Actually, I did. It would help if you actually paid attention to my video.
Also, you're using the fastest speed to compare to Pearl's speed. What? How? How did these two speeds collate? You never explained this, and even if you did, it's poorly explained.
Okay, so I think this person is complaining about Pearl flying the ship, where I said that Pearl had a reaction speed of 33% the speed of light, because the ship was moving at 33% the speed of light, and she was dodging meteorites. I'm not saying she can run at 33% the speed of light. I'm saying she can react to 33% the speed of light. In the Versus community, there are 3 different types of speed. Travel speed, running from point A to point B in a certain amount of time. For example, running around the Earth in 1 second. Combat speed, where you're fighting at a certain speed. For example, throwing punches and dodging punches that are as fast as lightning. And reaction speed, for example, dodging a meteorite while flying a ship right before it hits you. To me, reaction speed is the least important of the 3, but it's still important. The most cliche example given for the 3 different types of speed is, who's faster, Usain Bolt or Bruce Lee? One is a faster runner, one can punch faster.
And again, you're missing the point for Ruby. Like, Ruby was tricking the main cast because she's a bitch and an actual psychopath. Lapis was warming up to her until her betrayal because she was mad that Ruby was able to adjust to life so easily while she couldn't. And Steven and Peridot were supportive of Ruby until her betrayal. You're just mad that Navy turned out to be what you keep labeling Amethyst. Even though Amethyst is nothing like Navy.
Actually, I wasn't mad in any way whatsoever. I was just making an immigrant joke.
How Uncle Andy was wrong in the situation, thinking the gems were illegal immigrants and were racist against them, and wrong about the gems, then learned to accept them and allow them to accept him after he apologized?
First of all, I do remember the episode because I mentioned it in this video. It would really help if you actually watched it. Second, technically they were illegal aliens in the most literal sense possible because they're from space, and as far as I'm aware, they don't have American citizenship. Also, you can't be racist towards something that's not even human. Technically, he was being speciesist, if anything. And even then, he seemed more angry that they were hippies who were freeloading in his barn. While you're at it, you might want to educate yourself on the difference between xenophobia and racism. Him yelling out, "You couldn't even marry an American," is not him saying, "You couldn't even marry a white person."
Also, strange that you forget to say that rubies can light themselves on fire. Example being in Steven Universe Future episode, Guidance, where we can see one turn on the flames. That would be a cool feat since you mentioned Sapphire's ice powers.
Well, I didn't exactly mention rubies could light themselves on fire or have fire powers. I did mention that Ruby was able to make a pool reach the boiling point in a few seconds and evaporate it in a few minutes. Lighting yourself on fire is completely pitiful compared to that. Take a flamethrower, point it at your pool, and start blasting it. It's going to take a long time for you to make the pool evaporate.
Also, of course, Blue was racist. The whole point was to convince the Diamonds to stop their evil ways and bring peace to the galaxy. It's a no shit moment and a lame attempt at a joke.
A joke? You think I was trying to make a joke? This person doesn't know what humor is. When I make a joke, they don't think it's a joke, and when I don't make a joke, they think I'm making a joke. The point, not the joke I was trying to make, is that according to Blue Diamond, depending on how you look at it, Garnet might not be a real Garnet, and there might be a Garnet species on Homeworld. Yes, I know what the message of the episode is. Yes, I understand the story arc involving the diamonds. Everyone does. It's a show made for fucking children. And this whole Blue Diamond is racist, we know. We put a clip of someone saying, "That's racist," after she said that whole Garnet line.
Also, the Hitler joke about is overused and not funny. Everyone's done it, and it's only there to paint the show as racist again. Smooth.
Dude, it was like one clip for half a second. Get over yourself. You're acting like it went on for over a minute. No, it's because there was the number 9, and the German word for no is 9. It's not to paint the show as anything.
And comparing Garnet destroying the core to the damage being dealt to the outer shell is stupid. 1, the core is more fragile. It's why it's in the ship.
This guy is fucking stupid!
I wasn't talking about the durability of the core at all. Yes, it's more fragile than the outer shell of the ship, but I wasn't saying it was as strong as the outer shell of the ship. I was saying that when the core exploded, it blew through the outer shell of the ship. How much you want to bet if I was talking about a new type of grenade? And I said, man, this grenade is so powerful, it can blow up a tank. The person would say, what? You think a tank and a grenade have the same durability? You're an idiot!
Yes, it was able to blast open the shell of the ship, and yes, Jasper was able to survive the explosion and was in the heart of the explosion.
Oh, okay, so you do understand what I mean. You just added this at the beginning to make me look more stupid because you keep strawmanning me.
But Garnet wasn't hit with the blast, as you show in your clip.
Now, we don't see the explosion directly reaching Garnet in the clip, but we do see the explosion breaking through the outer hull of the ship in the next scene. Then we see Garnet jumping out of the smoke. She wasn't hit by its full force, but she still took it almost completely point blank. And if you still want to argue that she didn't get hit by it at all, well, she took on Jasper and was basically evenly matched with her. Both of their punches could hurt each other. So if Jasper could take the explosion completely point blank, logically, Garnet should also be able to do the same.
Also, Garnet didn't do that much damage to Jasper. She did get good hits, but it was clear that Jasper only lost because of the reactor and Garnet's smarts. Also, this feat would have fit better if you were talking about Jasper's power. Also, don't compare Jasper to other courts. It's clear from the show that Jasper is strong, more durable, and faster than any other court soldiers.
Where in the video did I say or imply that Jasper was just your average court soldier? I know she is one of the best, if not the best Jasper. And yes, I did mention that Jasper took the explosion completely point blank. So this is a feat for her as well, and I'm going to be going over her more in part 2. I'm not going to make a 12-hour long video just to explain every little thing of every little detail.
Even if you're only comparing Jasper to Amethyst. Also, this feat would be good to show how much stronger Steven got once fully empowered up since he fought against Jasper.
Yeah, it would be. That's why I'm putting it in part 2, because part 1 was already 20 minutes long, and it took me 2 weeks to make.
And why didn't you mention Garnet's power to make electricity?
Oh my god, I did! At this point, I actually had to stand up and walk away, because this person was going to give me a processor attack if I kept on reading their comment.
Yeah, it wasn't used much, but you brought up Pearl's ability to use sand and mist, so this would be mentioned too.
Good thing it was mentioned. How much you want to bet if I left out the part about Pearl manipulating sand? This person would complain that I didn't mention that Pearl could manipulate sand.
Also, Garnet's shape-shifting powers are used much less than Amethyst.
Wow, golly gee willikers, everyone! Amethyst uses shape-shifting more often than Garnet. Good thing I didn't say Garnet used it more. I just said she was better at it!
Also, you forgot to mention Rocket Fists. Come on! That's a staple to her abilities and it's useful!
Oh, I know what this person is talking about. The scene where Garnet made her gauntlets become huge, and she turned them into a giant rocket. A lot of people wondered why I didn't include this feat. Well, there's a simple explanation. This feat isn't canon. This whole episode was just a story told by Steven. It's a non-canon episode with non-canon characters where they fought a non-canon villain. You say I don't know about the show, yet you're using a non-canon episode? Should I also include the fight against Uncle Grandpa? Just asking.
Wow, you're overstating the Lapis. The Lapis in Why So Blue didn't care about Steven because they thought he was going to do anything. With his talk of peace and such, and the fact that he was telling the Lapis to stop, they didn't see him as a threat.
I really like that Josh is calling the Lapis the Lapis. I'm gonna leave this in and not ask him to correct it. But that's the point. Steven is a diamond, and they didn't see a diamond as a threat. That was the point I was trying to make.
Also, as they say, he's only half a diamond. They saw his humanity as a weakness. If it was blue diamond, yellow, or white, they wouldn't disagree with them.
It's a good thing I said the Lapis may see Steven as the weakest of the diamonds, but a diamond nonetheless.
Also, Jasper was on par with Lapis. She took a water fist to the face and wasn't scratched.
Her water punch is her weakest attack, and it sent Jasper flying away. Did it put a scratch on her? Maybe, maybe not. But Lapis wasn't trying to destroy her, she was just trying to send her away. If Lapis smashed her water tower on top of her, it would annihilate her. She can also make water clones of Jasper. Yes, Lapis doesn't have the best strength or durability, but she has a lot of attack power and speed.
She withstood being held as Malachite with Lapis, and both were equally as exhausted.
Okay, Josh, it's Malachite. And she was holding Jasper there for several months.
Jasper is the same power level as Lapis. It's just Lapis has water powers, while Jasper has pure strength.
Okay, call me when Jasper in a weakened state can take on Pearl, Garnet, and Amethyst while holding up a water tower that's millions of meters tall.
Also, Pearl won against her 2 water clones, which she split in the episode, which would have been an interesting topic to mention while talking about Pearl.
No, she didn't. It was the vibration of Steven's shield that took them all out.
And another fact you left out is the fact that it was 3 diamonds that did this, not 1. So you would need to divide your math by 3.
Well, another fact that you got wrong is I said the diamonds did this, not 1. I said diamonds, as in plural.
Also, the Connie thing with Blue Diamond was most likely an animation error, since this is the only time it happens.
Okay, I've seen a few other people say this, but you need to prove it was an animation error. Yeah, the show does have a few animation errors, but it's mostly with proportions.
And even then, Lapis was able to overcome this power. And Yellow Zircon, because they have a very strong will against pain.
Yeah, I know she did. I didn't say she didn't, but I didn't say she did because, again, the video was long enough. Wait for part 2, everybody!
And Giant Garnet was only possible because of Yellow Diamond's new growth powers, which were even mentioned and shown in this episode and Homeworld Bow! How did you think this was just Garnet's power? God, you're lazy!
Okay, notice how I put this at the end of the video, and not while I was talking about Garnet. I just said, oh, apparently Garnet can become as big as a diamond. I didn't say she did it on her own or it was one of her abilities. It was poor wording on my part, but again, wait for part 2, everybody.
Also, why didn't you mention Steven's most impressive feat outside of Corrupt Steven? His shattering of Jasper with only his shields. Come on! Talk about Jasper and the awesome feats she's endured, then build up to Steven. Like how powerful he is.
I will mention it in part 2. Me not mentioning something doesn't mean I'm saying it didn't happen. I said at the end of the video, there are more feats and statements I can go over, and if the video does well, I'll make a part 2.
It would show that he doesn't need to be a corrupted beast to do some real damage.
Oh, man. I felt every inch of that projection. What is with these people? That they feel that they have to defend fictional characters. Like, is it really that big of a deal? I'm worn out from this, guys. I'm gonna go get a drink, alright? I gotta refuel.
Now we only have one guy left to talk about. Some of you might notice that there's still a lot of time left in the video. Well, that's because we're not going through one of this guy's comments, we're going through a ton of them. And I have saved the best for last.
You are not a true fan. This YouTube channel is about fake facts and lies. This person provides evidence that shows that Vox was defending the show.
So my channel is about fake facts and lies, and the evidence I provided actually proved that Vox was just defending the show. Sure. He was just mad that someone leaked stuff before he could.
Blair Moon, why presume I'm a
Yahtzee
now?
Wow, this person isn't saying I'm not a
Yahtzee.
They're saying, why presume I'm one now? But I do agree with this person. Blair Moore, you should have assumed that they were
Yahtzee
5 minutes ago.
Miss Trashcan, how am I toxic for defending a YouTuber and a show?
Well, you're also attacking a YouTuber while you're defending a YouTuber, and you're defending the wrong actions that the YouTuber you're defending made. Fans like what a creator creates. A fanboy will defend them blindly.
Just call me Glacier. First of all, he only did it because the kid did stuff he wasn't supposed to, and Vox would have defended the show whether the kid was an adult or as he is now.
Well, what he did wasn't really defending the show, it was going after someone. And how do you know the kid wasn't supposed to do this? I know Vox said that the kid wasn't supposed to do this, but as far as I'm aware, none of the creators said she couldn't.
Blair Moon, I'm not following anyone blindly.
I beg to disagree.
Kate the Wolf, Troy Bonnie. Well, this fucking cartoon is how some people make a living, and by leaking those plot points, he got so many people in trouble at work.
Well, first of all, it was a she. Yes, I know there was a picture of a boy on screen, but I didn't add that in. That was Soccer Turtles. I didn't know who the kid was, but I assumed Soccer Turtles knew. Turns out I was also wrong. Now, I got their gender wrong, but if you got their gender wrong, how do you know these leaks would have gotten the creators in trouble? It sounds to me that you're just pulling stuff out of your ass to defend your senpai.
Vox has made an apology video a little while ago. He apologizes for the whole thing, saying that it was his fault and no one else's. He realizes his mistake, so I kind of forgive him. I think he deserves a second chance.
I also agree he deserves a second chance, but his apology video, as far as I'm aware, came out after my video. I don't know if he made an apology video before this one, but if he did, please link it to me.
Roaming, you are wrong. The kid was told some stuff he could leak and some stuff he couldn't, but leaked it all anyway, and Vox wasn't told to not leak stuff, so he's not a hypocrite. Because he was defending people who work on the show who most likely got in trouble for what the kid leaked.
Most likely, so you don't even have evidence. If anyone would have gotten in trouble, it would have been the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And how do you know the kid could leak certain stuff or not? Because Vox said so? You have no evidence.
Ringo Road again? Actually, they might have gotten fired for that kind of leak. So no, they might not be making a living, therefore, you are incorrect.
Vox is a hypocrite because he was mad at them for leaking stuff when he wanted to leak it out himself. Not because he was trying to defend the creators of the show. They might have gotten fired from their jobs. Who? The writers who barely work on the show? The Korean animators who painstakingly work in sweatshops? I know they're completely safe. Rebecca Sugar wasn't fired, neither were the voice actors. Face it, you're just making up stuff to defend your senpai. Now, I know a few of you might comment, Jar, I think this guy is a troll. Even if this person is trolling, what they say is absolutely abhorrent. They are spreading lies about a cancer survivor. Vox at least apologized for what he did, but even if Vox didn't apologize, I would still be way more angry at this person. If this person is just trolling and they are a subscriber of mine, fuck off my channel.
And for the record, just a robot. Thanks again for allowing me to make an appearance on your video. Curse the trolls, peace to everybody else.
To end this video off, I just want to say, the girl who had cancer did survive. She left a comment and I did pin it, but I want to make sure as many people know she's okay as I possibly can. And I want to apologize for the joke I made about, this person was dying of cancer, and they asked for more episodes of Steven Universe, which is pure cancer. That really wasn't cool, and I shouldn't have joked about that shit. So, I just want to say I'm sorry for making that joke. I hope you can forgive me in the same way you forgave Vox.
I forgive you.
My eyes have seen the glory of the cleansing of YouTube, debunking SJWs and feminazis too. We criticize reactionists in hopes they get the boot, just to roll on marches on.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?